Hey guys, today I want to tell a story. You guys like story times, and if you guys like how I tell this story and you guys want to hear more stories from me, like give it a like or let me know down in the comments like that. Like, oh yeah, tell more stories. Story is about like why I have no friends. We're gonna start from all the way back to when I was like younger all the way to now. Let's go ahead and get on into it. When I was like a kid growing up, we like me and my family, we lived like in these like apartments. I'd say like living in these apartments was probably like the most friends we had ever had in my whole entire life like that. I don't know about my sisters because I live with my two sisters. There was other families living there that had like kids that were our age or around our age. So like me and my two sisters were friends with like most of them. And we went to school with two of them. Also at school, we had this other friend. She was our friend from elementary all the way till we graduated. By the beginning of like high school for me and my family moved to our house and it was closer to the school. And so it's like we moved from our childhood apartments where we had all of our friends. I couldn't stop it. We were still friends with those three people like that, the two that lived in those apartments still, and then the one that we had throughout from elementary till we graduated. But after we graduated high school, we all just kind of like drifted apart. Two of them, I think they went to like college. They were further in their education, and the other one, she was actually still in high school, but like literally me and my two sisters, we had already graduated. We just didn't really stay in contact with that girl that was still in high school. Like, so here I was at this point, a high school graduate, 18-year-old, no friends. I basically didn't work for the next 4 years outside of high school because my family wanted me to stay home and help them, and it's like some family stuff, and I was like, whatever. I was like, I guess I'll do that. Then after 4 years, it was like summer 2021, I started my first full-time job, which was at McDonald's, and I worked there for 5 months, and then I quit. It just kind of overworked me, and they wrote me up for something stupid, so I was just like, if you're gonna write me up for something stupid, like what if I do something else that's like stupid and you guys write me up for that? But when I was working there, I made some friends. Like we never hung out outside of work. We just like hung out and talked at work. And I would have liked to hang out with some of them, but I can't make people hang out with me if they don't want to hang out with me. And like a month after I quit, I started to getting on like dating apps. I was wanting like to start to find like a partner. I was like, swiping, blah, blah, blah. And then I found someone, and then we started talking and we became official. I was like, okay, so now that I had someone, I felt like I didn't need no friends because I had someone. Because I was like, I just wanted to spend time with them all day long, talk to them all day long. I didn't want to talk to no one else but them. By fall of us being together, which was like almost like a year, I started this one job. It was like a little small town like restaurant job that's like in my town. It's like nothing big or nothing like that's like everywhere like McDonald's or anything like that. And there was some like cool people there, some nice people there, but I had to get like a vibe from people to kind of be like, could they be friends with me? Could I be friends with them? Like that. I just didn't have that vibe. They just had a vibe that they didn't really care for me to be there. And I was just like, yeah, I think it's just best if I just leave. But then the new year came around, and me and my partner at the time, we started to kind of like fall out of love and kind of like drift apart. And so we sat down and we talked. We like decided that we should like break up and just kind of go on our separate ways. And I had my ex living with me, so my ex moved out, and so then I was back to being lonely. I had no friends, didn't have a partner. But I started like a new job that new year also, which was like back at McDonald's, because I just wanted to go back. And at first I didn't make friends like that. I was just like going for money. Sometime in like that new year, around that new year, like January, February, there was this girl. She would like always come through the drive-thru to get food, and she seemed pretty cool. She had like this like nice vibe and stuff like that. And like every time like that, we'd always talk like that, interact like that through the drive-thru. And one day I was like, if I see her again, I want to get her snap because she seems so cool. And I'm thinking like if we could like talk outside of work, maybe see if we could hang out, like that'd be cool. One night she came through the drive-thru, and I asked her, I said, hey girl, do you have like any social media, or would you care if I got you like your number or something? Because you seem pretty cool, and I want to talk to you more like that, besides like this like little interaction that we have here. And she goes, oh yeah. She goes, I have anything. And I'm like, okay, well, snap. So then I pull up like the search bar and I give it to her, and she puts her name in. I add her. I'm like, okay girl, just add me whenever you can, I'll talk to you later, blah blah blah. I'd say like a month, 2 months like that, we basically talked on like Snap. And after that, we really like didn't talk like that anymore. But literally like we talked, and she'd also take time to get back to me, to text back and stuff like that. But I was just like, as long as she texts him back, that's all that matters to me. Anytime I post my story and she saw my story, she'd always hit me up with my story like, hey. There was one time I asked her like if she would want to hang out, and she hits me back up like when she did, and she was like, I think she said she was somewhere like on vacation or something, but she said when I got back, yeah, I'd be down. But like nothing ever came from it. Like she never messaged me because I think I sent the last message. I think like a little bit later, I think she opened the message and left me on read because I think I said, okay, let me know or something like that. And I gave her time to even think like maybe she like opened it. She's having to think about when she can do it or something like that. And she still hadn't like got back to me like after a week or 2 weeks or something like that, almost like 3 weeks. And so I was like, all right, this girl probably doesn't want to hang out with me. So I think I unadded her after that. It's just like, if you don't want to hang out with me, you can tell me straight up like, hey, you seem cool, but I don't really know you like that, blah, blah, blah. Maybe if we talk more, blah, blah, or something like that. So around that time, I was working there, and I had a friend from work also, and I think I got her snap because I was wanting to see like if we could talk outside of work and maybe see if we could hang out also, because I was trying to make friends, buddy. I was trying to hang out with people. I was literally bored. I had no one, so I'm just like, I need some company. 1 month I quit from there because working like the second shift, and then they had me working night shift. I think for like a month or something like that, maybe a little bit over a month. And then I was like, okay, they're overworking me with this night shift because there's no workers. I'm tired. I literally cannot do this. So I said, I want to either go back to second shift or like try some other job. I'm like, I'm tired of this job. I need to probably even get out of this job and try something else, anyways. So I quit that job. One day I'm hanging out with my sister and my cousin, and I'm texting her, that girl that I worked with at the same time, and I'm like, hey girl, like, did you know I quit? Did you hear that I quit? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know if you've noticed or what. She's like, yeah, I've noticed. And also I heard about it. And she's like, I was kind of sad because, you were actually like one of the few people that I actually liked working with. And I was like, oh, I'm like, that's so sweet to hear. I was just kind of wondering, if you, like, since I'm like not working there anymore, if you wouldn't care to like hang out, like I'd be down to hang out if you would want to hang out. And she's like, oh girl, like I'd love to, but I barely like to go out. She's like, I like to like go to work and then go straight home. Like I really like to go out. And I'm like, well, what about on your days off? She's like, I'm the same on my days off also. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, well, that's fine. I was like, don't worry about it. I did go back like a month later or something because they asked me to come back, and we talked like while and hung out more at work. I'm just kind of thinking, if that girl didn't want to hang out with me, she could have told me, because I remember when, I don't know if it was before I quit or if it was after they asked me to come back, but there was one day I was there, and this girl, she got off work and she was like, she went through the drive-thru, and I think she had people in her car, and it kind of seemed like she was going to go hang out with people, but she was going to get food first or something like that. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, so it kind of seemed like a line. There's these two new girls working there, and one of them, she was in high school, so I mean, I don't really care to like talk to like people that's like in high school or hang out with people, but I still talk to that girl at work. She's pretty chill. I think I got her on Snap one day, but we never really snapped or anything or talked on there. I just got her on next one. I think I removed her like over a year ago or something like that. But there was this other girl, new girl there, and she was pretty cool. She was old enough, she was an adult, so I got her Snap also, and we talked a lot, and we talked outside of work. And there's one time she had someone bring her over to my house, and we went out to go look for cars because we were both like looking for cars at the time, and then that was about it. One day something happened at work and it made me quit. Like, I'm not going to get into it. I started like another job, and when I was working over there at this other job, it was Little Caesars. The people there, they gave like the same vibe as that one restaurant, that one small little restaurant in my town. Like their vibes like that gave off that they didn't want to be my friend. I would have not want to been their friend, so I was like, I'm okay with that. I'll just come here to work just to make money, and then that's about it. Me and that girl, we stayed in contact though while I was working there. There was one day she asked me if she could come over to get some lunch like that, and I said, well, I can't give you free food, but I said I already had my lunch and I can give you half of my lunch like that, And she's like, okay, yeah, I'd be down to do that. I'm like, all right. I'm like, just come on over when you can, And it was getting later and later, and I'm thinking, come on, girl, this place is about to close. Like, I don't know, like, if she's coming like that. But she did come, and I gave her my lunch. I have not seen her in person in, like, it felt like forever. So I was like, girl, you gotta give me a hug. And afterwards, we just kind of slowed down on talking, and then kind of, like, went to completely stop talking. And I'm like, I don't know how or why, but yeah, but we're not in contact to this day. Kind of like the beginning to like the middle of December, I did quit there. of that year because like I got sick, like I got really bad sick, so I had to quit there, which I was wanting to quit there anyways because I was like not getting hours for the rest of that year. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, if I was going to go to some other job in my town or what, but I was trying to focus on getting better. And then I was like, my sister that lives in like another state, I'm like, she'll be coming down soon for like for Christmas to give this kid present and my grandma a present and just to kind of visit, you know, for that holiday. And I'm thinking, why don't I see if she'll let me come up there with her and I can like see if I can work up there, and I can also see if like making friends would be different up there, maybe finding a partner would be different up there. So she comes down, I ask her. It took some convincing, like that she was like really unsure about letting me come up there, but after some convincing, she was like, you know what, whatever, yeah, if you really want to come. So I go up there and I like started a job at Dunkin', and I worked there for 6 months, and I also stayed up there for 6 months. At Dunkin', I made 3 good friends. Two of them were girls and one of them was a guy. The one guy I worked with in the kitchen, I thought we were cool. I thought we were best friends. You know, I thought we were friends for, you know, for good, blah, blah, blah. Like no matter what, if I moved, we literally like hung out outside of work. Like we always FaceTime, text, like literally like at work we talk, joke around. We also like smoked, like he got me into smoking, but I don't do that no more. Like I was just kind of experimenting. One girl, like I wasn't too close with her because again she was kind of like I think 17, so she was like underage, but you know she was still like, you know, cool and like nice to hang out or talk to like that while I was at work. She was nice to me, so I was nice back to her, and I was just like, I love that. Like I love when there's like nice people. I think I got her number though. I was just getting it just to chit chat and talk like that, nothing too like crazy. And that other girl, she worked there at the beginning when I first started. She was already like working there, and then like not too long after I started, she quit or got fired or something like that. And then like I think it was like I forgot exactly when. I don't know if it was like the end of March, beginning of April, sometime like around that, like that. But she came back, and you know she started to work like in the kitchen and around my area like that a lot, and so I enjoyed like working with her, and so we kind of talked and like hung out more at work and stuff like that. And so like she seemed like chill and stuff like that, and I was like, I like this girl, I like working with her, you know. And so we kind of became friends, and we got each other's numbers also. We never really text like that, like while I was like living there, or like FaceTime or anything like that. It was just like we just like hung out and talked at work. But I don't know if she didn't quit, if we got to know each other like more earlier, if we would have stayed friends or what. 2 days before I left, she was wanting to like hang out like Friday, the day before I left, and I was just like, yeah, I'd be down. You just gotta like let me know, blah blah blah. And she's like, I will. But I was still trying to get like a hug from her because I was like unsure, because like she wasn't going to work the next day, but I had to work the next day, so I was trying to get a hug from her to be like, all right, bye, you know, just in case. And she's like, no, we'll see each other. I'm like, all right, if you say so. That girl texted me, the girl that wanted to hang out for that day. She texted me later that night. She was like, hey, I'm sorry. I was busy today and I thought I was going to have time to still hang out with you, but it seems like it's too late to hang out with you now. I'm sorry. But you know, if you still want to be in contact with me, we can still stay in contact, blah blah blah, going on like that. I left her on deliver, and I just like read like the notification, and then I was like, I'm going to bed, whatever. So I lock my phone and I go to bed. I'm like, I was pissed because it's just like I knew that was a lie. I felt like so betrayed because it's just like, see, this right here is why I'm leaving, because you guys don't even care about me. It's just like you guys probably just playing around with my feelings. I really don't remember when I sent her the message. I don't remember if I sent her the message that morning or if I sent it like in the car on the way home, or if I sent it when I got home. But I sent her a message sometime like that day, and I'm like, it's fine. And I was like, and then I explained to her like I had to pack up my stuff and like in the car like that night, and I went out with my sister and her man because they wanted to kind of like give me like a goodbye like dinner like that. I told her I probably wouldn't have had time anyways. Also with partners like that, I did find 2 guys to go on dates with like that. The one guy I went on like 3 dates with, and the other guy I just went on 1 date with. The one guy with the 1 date, it was like the 3rd date that I went on, because I went on a total of 4 dates. We met online on an app, and then he was like, I'd like to take you out. And I was like, yeah, I'd be down, blah, blah, blah. And then we picked a time, day, and place, and then he came and picks me up, and then we go to it. And then after that, we were like driving around, and we went to this park, and he was like, you want to go out? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, maybe next time. I was like, yeah, next time, definitely. So then he takes me home and drops me off. He doesn't text me till later, and he was like, hey, you know, you seem pretty chill, but I didn't get the vibe that, you know, like we could work out or something like that. And he's like, I'm sorry, but we could be friends or something like that. And I said, it's fine. And I felt the same way. Like, I did not feel the vibe or anything like that. He unmatched me before we could even get any, like socials or number to stay friends. So I'm like, all right, whatever. He's probably just saying that just to say it, trying to be nice, but it's like, whatever. First guy, I met on a dating app, and we were talking for, I think, like about like 2 weeks or something like that. Then he asked me out, and so we go out. It was like a week or 2 weeks later, he asked me back out, and then we go out again. Then he ghosted me for 3 months, and I don't know why. And then he hits me back up. He's like, hey, is this your number still? And I was like, yeah. And he was just like, hey, what happened? And I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, I thought you ghosted me. I thought you just seemed like you wasn't interested, so you ghosted me. I didn't ghost you. I thought you blocked me, is what he said. And I'm like, I didn't block you. Like, what the frick? And he's like, well, I don't know. And I was like, buddy, I don't know either. By this time, I had already lost feelings for him. I had already, like, been uninterested in him since, like, he ghosted me. But he was like trying to still talk to me, and he was like, I'm still interested in getting to know you and being with you and take you on dates. Could I still take you, like, on another date, and like we could like go from there again? And I was like, okay, yeah. Because I'm thinking maybe like if we go on a date, we could see where it goes. And we did, but I didn't feel no connection at all. Like, my feelings I had lost for him, they were gone. They were completely gone. And like no point of that day did I think, oh, this guy's cool. Oh, you know, oh, I feel the sparks again, like that, you know. And like we kissed and everything, and it's just like there was no spark there. After the date, I texted him and I was like, hey, I thought about it more, because it was later. I waited till like later on that day. I didn't do it like right after I got inside or anything. I did like later on. I was like, hey, I was like, I'm sorry, but I just think like it's best if we just stay friends. Like, you're cool and all. It's just from the time that you ghosted me to you, I blocked you, to me, it's like seemed like you ghosted me. I kind of lost feelings. I'm so sorry, but if you want to be friends, we can be friends. He's like, okay, yeah, I'd be down, blah blah blah, to be friends like that. And he's like, thank you for being honest with me and not blocking me or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I would never do that to someone. So yeah, when I told him I was leaving, he told me, he said, I would like to take you out like as a friend, you know, like I won't try anything, I promise. Kind of wish you goodbye. But I was like, oh yeah, I'd like that. But then it never happened. I asked him what day, and he was like, I don't know, we got to figure that out. And then there was like one day, I think it was like Sunday or something. I was like, well, this week is my last week, buddy. So you have this day to this day. And I was like, and here's my schedule, here's my times, so let me know. And he didn't read it until either like that Tuesday or that Wednesday, and he never hit me back up. So I don't know what happened, but I'm like, all right, whatever. But I get back here, and like I was focusing on myself and getting my life together. And I also went on like a few dates, but they never went nowhere. They didn't even become friends. So I worked at this motel as a front desk person, and there was like a few people that worked there and that were like housekeepers and like maintenance people. The manager, one of the housekeepers, he was like this like 40 some guy, like I think he's like in his early 40s like that, but he was pretty cool. And I found that he was gay also later, and I was like, hey, I had me like a little gay best friend. Like, I love that. So like we literally became friends. I liked his vibe, but we didn't like stay in contact like outside of work, do anything outside of work. We just like talked and hung out at work like that. So then the new year came, and we had some like family emergencies, family stuff going on, so I had to quit from there. Me and him wasn't in contact, or I wasn't going there no more to see him anymore. So it was kind of like I kind of lost my best friend. I went up there for my last check. He was there working, and he came out and he's like, I'm like, don't look at me, buddy. And he's just like, what happened? And I'm like, I had to quit. I'm like, I had some family emergencies, family stuff going on. I'm like, I'm sorry. I probably wouldn't want to come back. I said, because there's been some kind of stuff also like that was going on here, and I really did not care for it. And I was like, I just don't know how someone could sit here and continue working this job, you know? And he's like, I just wish you wouldn't have like had to quit. He goes, I'm here though, so if you want to ever come by and hang out or talk to me, he goes, you can. And I'm like, well, I'm driving my grandma's car right now, so and like I really can't just go anywhere like that, and I can't like do that. So I'd have to wait till I got my car fixed to do that. And I was like, that's for one. And he didn't have no way to contact him, like no phone. You know, he was also kind of homeless, so it's just like he had no place like that. He was basically kind of staying at that hotel, and I didn't want to go back to that hotel to just hang out with him like that. Since then, my life has just kind of went more downhill. Just trying to focus on getting my life together before I kind of put myself back out there to continue looking for friends or looking for my next partner or whatever. Anyone that's watching this video right now, if you guys want to be my friend like online, I have an Instagram and I have a TikTok. If you want to like comment like your Instagram and say like, Instagram, here's the thing. Also put your age with it, because like I'm like in my mid-20s like that, so I would want someone that's kind of like close to like their mid-20s, in their mid-20s or like late 20s. I kind of want people that's like around there or even like older. So if you watch this video and you're like in that age range, let me know down below like your Instagram with your age and or your TikTok with your age. I'll follow you guys and like we could like talk on there, or we could send TikToks or something like that. You know, like I'd be down to do that if you guys would be down to do that. So that's basically it of the story. I've been filming for like almost 40 minutes. Like, this is crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you made it to this point, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe down below and hit the bell if you do subscribe. Like, comment, interact with this video any way that you can. Bye.